It's the power of J-Skull!
Indeed it is, guys. Welcome back again to the Power of J-Skull. And this is a very special episode because we are getting to the finale of the 2021 He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series on Netflix. And here we are, Jason. We're at the business end.
I don't know why you would quite put it that way, but yes, we are putting this series to bed because final two episodes, and I will say a premature cancellation for this series because I could have easily watched another season or two of this.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because it does feel like, we've just hit our strides and it's over. Yes. So it does get a bit of a vibe about that.
That's Netflix, they can't help it. They're a bit incompetent in many things.
It's had 3 seasons. This thing's been going on forever. Cancel it. All right, let's get into the last 2 episodes. And the first episode is rightfully called The Beginning of the End, Part 1, Jason. Let's just put it out there. It all happens in this episode. This is a very action-driven. A lot of things happen in this episode.
A lot of very interesting things. A lot of things that are unexpected, quite honestly.
They are. Now, we start...
There's one bit at the end that I was just like, oh, did they just do that?
Yeah, I know. We now get... Is he called Skelegod here?
I think he's Skelegod here. And yeah. I also have to point out how many similarities that there are between this series and the Kevin Smith series. And this is one of them, the detached Skelegod head. Now I'm not saying that they were copying off each other. Some of these are just like natural intersections. But it is interesting to see how they do kind of pop off each other like that. And you know that they were on good terms because, they used the character models in an episode a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So
yeah. I think they're just inspired by each other. And look, it's a great look, Jason. It's a great
design.
It's
an incredible look.
You know what else is an incredible design in this too? The Havoc-ridden... Oh, do I not have his picture? Here we go. The Havoc-ridden...
Oh, yes, Beastman.
Like, oh, I can't remember
what he
Jason.
called himself, though.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Skelebeast or something like that.
Yeah. I think Skelebeast is it. I think it's it. But I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah. I love that Beastman was like, oh, man, I'm smart enough to figure out I got to follow this guy. I got to have to bow at his feet. Yeah. I really kind of like that too. But, this is very much just a bit of a Blues Brothers vibe in this episode because we're going to get the band back together and some new members. It's really a recruitment episode in many ways, isn't it?
In some ways, yes.
It is. And which I kind of alluded to where they basically have to go to Evelyn and say like, hey man, like we need your help. This is just beyond our battle. The whole universe is gonna fall to pieces if you don't join. So
I did like Evelyn's speech to Cronus or Trapjaw saying, you idiot, you live in the universe. You need to
that happens later on in there, but yeah, I love that. Because Duncan tries to recruit him at the same time, but Trapdoor, obviously being Trapdoor,
just a jackass.
Yeah, he's just gonna do whatever he wants to do, which is great. But yes, like Evelyn when she kind of corners him in that, and they all kind of gang up, and he has to accept the fact that, he's got to be part of this. Also, notice, go on, Orko.
Yeah, Orko using magic, which I think great.
Confidently.
And Triclops has joined the side of good, which,
I love.
I've come around to this version of Triclops.
Me too. By the end, he's kind of won me over.
Yeah. So,
but I really love this Orko.
I really think another season would have been great because I think with a season 3, I would have gotten it through my head to trust the creators of the show anytime they do something weird, like they're doing what with Cyclone? I trust them.
Because the payoffs are usually really good.
Yeah, they are.
even in the process, you might be scratching your head, but by the end of it, it's really good. And I'll even say that with now Ram Mam's arc, who, we start to see the turn back in this episode, which is great. And she goes, no, this has gone too far. She realizes that Skelegod is only going to grab her, bring her parents back, and turn them into mindless zombies anyway.
Yeah.
And that pisses her off, let's be honest.
As it should, yes.
As it should. So they go toe-to-toe. Quite a prolonged battle. Yeah.
Great fight. I loved Crass's just absolute emotional anger in that show.
Knowing that she hasn't got a shot too. She knows she's not really going to beat him.
But combination of her own emotional trauma and the havoc that has just infected her, she is angry, and she is going to beat Skeletor or die trying, which she's gonna die trying.
We're joined with He-Man eventually gets there. Mind you, I think have the moment, but I don't know if it's this episode or the next episode where he gets a moment where he's riding Battle Cat. And I think it's this or towards I think it's towards the scene. It's just they have this beautiful moment together, which I just love.
Yeah, and then He-Man chunks Battle Cat into the air.
Yes.
I thought was great.
It was great.
If you have never watched this show, you need to watch it for Battle Cat, because this is the definitive version, in my opinion. Just the best version of Battle Cat ever.
I think the way they infuse, it's very childlike comedy, but the comedy in this is quite good, actually. Once you understand the tone they're going for, it actually works quite well. Back to He-Man now. You're thinking, okay, here we go. It's a bit early to be the final battle, but they're treating it like it. And this is an epic battle. This is a fantastic fight between him and Skeletor.
One will stand and one will fall.
Look, honestly, I'm going to compare it to the Luke Skywalker Emperor battle at the end with Vader. I'm going to, because the emotion and the choices he makes in that scene, dude, are pretty awesome in regards to he gives up the sword, dude.
Yeah.
Now, that's insane. Even I'm and a 50-year-old man screaming at the television, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He had no choice. He needed to save his friend because Skeletor was just wrecking her.
Oh, mate.
Killing her right in front of him.
So, and it was sustained for like 2 minutes. He wasn't just did it a little bit. He's got her face being torn apart through Havoc like there for ages against
this version of Skeletor, while comedic, is incredibly ruthless. Probably eclipsed only by Mark Hamill's Skeletor. But this Skeletor is absolutely ruthless.
Even at and the character of Skelegod mode at the moment, you almost feel he's unbeatable at this point. You're thinking they are nowhere in comparison to him. And then when He-Man gives him the sword, he goes to another level, dude. Another level. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll let you control it.
Now I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're in control. Now, no. How great is that? It becomes two halves of him, and he just becomes all-powerful. All-powerful.
He becomes Kaiju Skeletor, which I'm cool with.
Now, the logic of him giving up the sword, dude, because he goes, well, I've got to save it, so, I'll give off the sword, but what are you doing? You're giving up the sword to save her, but you're going to die. You're all going to end up mindless zombies. So what was the end game here, Adam? What were you thinking, Adam?
I think the only thing he was thinking was, my friend is in danger and I have to save her. Because remember, Adam is just a kid.
He is a kid, you're right. And he made kiddie choices. Very cool shot here with Power of Grayskull. Looking cool. In fact, I will say throughout the series, first time I saw the Castle Grayskull, I'm like, that's not my Castle Grayskull. Well, I'll tell you what, it kind of is now because I really love the design and I love how they've used it in the series. And I want to own one. So
I do own one, but you're missing the most important thing that
Oh,
happens in
please
this
do.
shot.
Yeah.
Castle Grayskull is destroyed.
Yes.
Yes,
Obliterated.
Kaiju Skeletor hatches out of it like an egg
Mm.
and destroys Castle Grayskull. The only time that has ever happened
I was
in
going to
Masters
say
of the Universe history. Uh,
I'm glad you saved that by bringing that up because that is a huge
it's
moment.
super huge, but yeah,
Mm.
Kaiju
It's
Skeletor
This is
does
a
not
tough
mess around.
episode to pick apart because there's so much happening. I think in this episode with everyone, there's just your team building. Look, we haven't even got into the fact that all the masters have to work together because it's like a wave of havoc is coming towards
Yes,
their last their last outpost that they're trying to find back. So they've got to combine all these skills together to build through Duncan, which is great, to build a wall to stop it, which is successful, kind of successful. So
it would have
holds it all
worked.
back.
It would have worked.
So at every level in this episode, all the characters' stakes have been raised.
Yes,
Like
very much
it's
so.
real serious now. Like, in fact, we end this episode with all great stories, and just before you get to the final story, they're in their worst possible position they could be in.
Yes.
And I think kudos. This is one of my favorite episodes of the entire series, Jason.
Extremely well written and well plotted.
Yeah,
I
I
really
love
liked it.
this. Yeah,
If it
very,
was
very
gonna
much.
end, at least it's ending on a high note.
Oh yeah, I mean they really kind of nailed it here. This is their best of both worlds, and this was best of both worlds part one, I
Absolutely.
think.
Let's do
So
part
we
two.
move. So before we move into the second episode to talk about, and the final episode of the series, Jason, the guys need to do something, don't they?
Yes, you fools! You need to subscribe to this channel, and if you have not done so already, you need to like the channel as well. Like the video as well! Like the video, you vindictive Vinnie Muffins! Here's Skeletor. It's this button right here. He shut off the picture, so now what I'm
The
doing makes
illusion's been
absolutely
ruined.
no sense. There we go. I'm pointing at it now, Skeletor. Did I do good? You did awful! Get out of here, you furry fool! You beastly buffoon!
I did it again.
You
I have a lot in common with
feral
Beastman by the looks of it, but timing's always off.
That don't matter. I'm having fun. That's all that matters.
All right, we're moving to the final episode of the series, which is called "The Beginning of the End" Part 2. So, of course, we start off right, scene straight after the end one, where we have this Skelegod. If it was Skelegod before, now he's got the power of Grayskull.
Yes.
What is he? What is the level higher than Skelegod?
I've been calling him Kaiju Skeletor.
Because he's a badass. Look at the wings on that thing.
Super Saiyan Kaiju Skeletor. He is not messing around. He's Gargoyle Skeletor. He is Dark Angel Skeletor. He is Devil Skeletor.
He is. And if you thought the beginning of this episode, oh, okay, well, now we're just going to see this episode of them coming back and winning. No. This version of Kaiju Skeletor decides to take matters into his own hands in regards to the havoc being stopped. And which is really great. Really great. You go, what are they going to do now? What are they going to do now? And, again, how great is that design, Chase?
Incredible design.
Was that a figure? Did they make that?
They did not make that figure, which really bums me out.
Yeah, me too, man.
They do have Kaiju Skeletor, but I don't like the way the figure looks, so I never got it.
This is a nice moment. A quiet moment while hell's breaking loose is really Ram Am deciding that she doesn't need the helmet. Like, that's over. She's back to being her annoying self, which is lovely.
It's just a thing. You're not. I thought that was great. Sometimes it takes almost losing somebody to really appreciate them and appreciate the value that they've had to you. And who among us has not had an emotional breakdown and alienated those close to us? Now, granted, I have not almost destroyed the universe doing it, but I felt like it.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I think the fact that they were waiting for Crass to come back the whole time was sweet, and
Mm.
it was very well written.
Mm.
There was no, "Well, we don't trust you yet because you betrayed it." No, it was just, "Hey, welcome back. We missed you. We missed you, sister.
I
Come
thought
on."
it was handled so well in the way of the writing and the way that she, that moment when she realizes she's made a huge mistake, all of that, and that scene there especially, handled really well. So, I found it sometimes frustrating throughout the series dealing with evil Ram Man, but the payoff was well worth it in the end.
Yes, very heartwarming.
They made one of these, didn't they? They made one
They
of these,
did.
Jace.
I was gonna bring
Yeah.
it here, and I was gonna show it off, but I forgot it, so
So
it's
in
in my
love with that
kitchen.
ship. I'm so in love with that
It is
ship.
the
And
Talon
that's in
Fighters Destroyer.
context to they all team up and they realize, I don't know if they're told, but they realize in Kaiju Skeletor, we've got the power of sword in one shoulder and the staff in another shoulder.
Yep, there we go.
Exactly. There we are.
He's got the gold
So,
and the green, as they call it.
so the mission is to have a chance to even be able to match up to him. They got to remove the sword. Really, they're going for the sword, not the staff as much, are they? They're really focused on the sword.
Yes.
And which is a great battle in the air, man. We get this really cool scene with the Talon fighter. We've got Evelyn in the air. We've got Sheila there rocking it, all ready to go on the attack. And it's a great shot. Look at them. They're
It
ready.
is. It is.
And they go to battle, man. And they go to battle.
They do, and it goes from bad to worse because, well, our Duncan and Sorceress lose their powers because Adam gave up the sword, and they
So
end
they
up
get
battling,
straight
and
from them.
which I thought was great. Such a great
You know
scene.
what was really a cool scene though? That Evelyn's spirit beast sees that and then goes, "Nope, I'm
Yep.
getting you, and I'm getting you out of here."
Yes, I thought that was
Um,
great, and she's like, "What are you doing?
yeah,
No!"
she doesn't want to bail either. Like he's like, "Nah, we need to take a step back and reassess."
I really see this is another similarity. I really see Evelyn as a character and Evelyn as a character who would ultimately be redeemed on this show. Who would maybe not become a good guy, but who would, I don't know, not be with Skeletor anymore.
mm,
I think that's the direction that they were taking her.
mm, very much her own Evelyn.
Yes, or
You know,
Goodlin.
not
Yes,
yes,
Goodlin.
yep. Once a month, Evelyn. Oh, that's terrible.
Oh my
Sorry, I
god!
retract
Oh
that.
my god!
I take
Why?
that back.
Why?
Even Kaiju Skeletor ain't happy with that bad joke.
Why did you make that joke, Jace?
It's such great
That's
design.
really poor taste. Do not make fun of the beauty of the woman here.
You know what Orko should have done? He should have been treating me like he treated Trapjaw. When he trapped Trapjaw, it's just a matter of fact, you're annoying. I'm picking you up and trapping you. I love Orko. I wanted to see another season just to pay. We've got pimped out Orko here. We've got an Orko here who is uber confident, knows what he's all about. And
Yes,
I
and
am
he's
here
not
for it.
screwing up his spells. I
No,
love that. It's another similarity between this series and the Kevin Smith series is the evolution of Orko.
done
I mean,
done very well.
very, very, very well.
Mm. So we've got a bunch of heroes now. We're at the end game. Most of them have been stripped of powers.
Yes.
What are they going to do? I mean, really, what's it down to do? You know,
I gotta throw it back
yeah,
here. Just found out that this is the voice actor for Shax from Lower Decks.
yeah.
Let me eject the warp core. Maybe we can destroy him with the warp core, Captain. Let me do it, Captain. I've been very good this year.
Favorite King Randall out of any He-Man I've seen?
I could see that. Yeah.
Yep. I because I give him so much to do in the series.
They do, and I like he has a character arc.
Mm.
You know, Randor's hardly ever had a character arc. He had one in the Kevin Smith series, but he was barely in that one.
Mm.
And this one, yeah, great
Pretty well
Randor.
fleshed out.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the big thing in this episode, obviously, because they got no skills now, no power sword, they got nothing, right? Is the fact that we have this moment, because they got no powers, do like that shot of Duncan. That
I get it. I love books too.
They've got the power inside them all along. Like, it seems so corny when I say that, but I was okay with it in this.
I was okay with it because I love the way they expressed it. You know,
Yes.
I'm not just a destructor, I'm a builder. I am not just a
Yes.
predator, I am a protector.
Oh, I love that line.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Giving up the
great.
power was the most powerful thing I could have done.
Yeah.
So it was the summation of their character arcs throughout the
Mm,
entire series. I
mm,
also loved the line from Battle Cat, which happened way before this.
mm,
But he says, I recently saw myself as other animals do as a predator, and it scared me. And I thought,
mm.
when did that happen? Then I thought, oh, when he was in the body of the Navit.
Ah,
And I was like,
yes.
oh, continuity.
He
Very
became
nice.
prey. He
Yeah,
became
because the
prey.
Navit was going to eat him. It's like, oh, okay, nice. Very
That is
good.
a nice little touch. That's a nice little touch. One of my,
Kaiju battle.
I want to have this as my desktop wallpaper because
Beautiful. It's absolutely
what a great scene,
yeah.
right? Like, and when you want to see the sheer scale of what they're up against, I mean, here we go, right? Look at
Yeah.
the size of him. He's
Yeah.
massive.
It's
And
amazing.
again, we go from one massive battle to another massive battle. Again, these last few episodes do not let up with the action. They give it to you all.
But at the
And
same time, it does not feel overstuffed,
no,
which is
no.
really good plotting.
Okay, they may have seen the Infinity War, but I don't care. They throw a planet at him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you know, you got to.
yeah,
If you're
God,
out
all
there doing a
right.
cosmic fight, you've got to throw a planet at somebody.
I
Gotta
laughed to
happen.
myself and I'm gone. I don't know if they stole it. I see it as a great homage. I'm in.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
know, it's
good.
fine. It's
It's all
fine.
good. Yeah, and what a great
There's
moment
our
this
Thor
is.
Ragnarok shot.
It
Big
is our Thor
monster.
yeah, it is our Thor Ragnarok shot, but very powerful within this episode because it's
I
He-Man.
did love how whenever they took the sword out of Kaiju Skeletor, that like
Mm,
half of his body went dark and his one eye went out. I thought that is such a
yeah.
cool touch. I
He's
love
had a
that.
cosmic stroke in a way, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Half his
I
body
will
went
get
black.
you, He-Man.
uh, uh. How about the demise of Kaiju's Skeletor? Do you think it's well earned? Do you like it?
I did like it.
Yeah,
I
me
thought it
too.
was really well done.
Thought it was epic.
Yes.
I thought it was a just end to that
They
storyline.
chop his freaking arm off. I loved that.
It's great, and it's great. Oh wow, that's a trailer shot, right? You put that in the
Absolutely.
trailer.
Absolutely. The Avengers
Uh,
have defeated Loki.
They
Absolutely.
have, they have.
And another similarity between this one and the Kevin Smith series is how they deal with Skeletor. They
Yeah,
deal with
so
him
just
the
the
exact
next
same
thing.
way.
It
That
is
is,
the exact same way. And how do you feel about that?
I'm
Because
I'm okay with it.
that he goes back to being,
Yeah.
yeah,
They debone him
yeah,
and he becomes Keldor again.
he's
And you know
Keldor
what?
again.
I'm cool with it because there are story possibilities with that. Which is
You
again,
don't close the book.
I
Yeah,
wish we had gotten a third season.
a fourth.
And quite honestly, I think had it not been for the scene that follows, and I am not dogging on the next scene at all, had it not
No.
been for the scene that follows, this would have been a perfect finale. But they
So
had to
it
give us
does,
a
and you're
cliffhanger.
raising it. So it does ask the question: did they know that it had been cancelled when they made the
I
scene? I
don't
suggest
think
no,
I don't think they did.
especially when you're setting up, one of the
Yes.
big bads. Mind you, love the design,
And
loved the
great
look of him.
design. They did make a figure of this, and I do have it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Kevin Conroy, the legendary, the late Kevin
Oh,
Conroy, providing the voice of Hordak, menacing and slimy almost.
what
It's
a
like
great
you took,
setup it was too.
yeah, just
Like,
hello.
I'm going to use. You knew that season 4 was going to be about him manipulating Evelyn to do his binding and
Yes,
his bidding, and it would just. Oh man, it would have been great. So there we go. There we go. I had not watched this series at all 6 months ago. Had no reason to. Here I am at the end. I say 6 months because we took a break. You'll never know that because it's all in a row. But we took a bit of a break, and over the Christmas break, and look, I've seen it, and I tell you what, I went into this with a very closed mind about this. I felt, in a way, doing this was a little bit of an obligation for the show. But I'll be really honest with you. By the end of this, I so appreciate seeing this because this is not the He-Man I grew up with. But this is the version of He-Man that I can respect and like because it, at its core, it treats He-Man with the dignity and respect it deserves, took it to interesting places, but kept the heart of the universe there, if you pardon the pun. So, mate, I'd recommend this to any existing He-Man fan, and especially if you're young kids or something like that, and you want them to get to watch a cool show. What a great entry point into the universe this series.
I have to agree. I think that Netflix Masters of the Universe is an excellent series. I would honestly put it up there. I would put it up there with 2002, maybe even above 2002. So I would say
I would say that.
this is about a little bit under the Kevin Smith series, but and quite a bit under the She-Ra series. But I will say this show had the cojones to take He-Man, strip it of everything down to its core essentials, and do something with it that had never been done before. And at first, you're watching it thinking, this is a weird direction. I don't know if I like it. But the more you get into it, the more you're thinking, you know what? This is good. This is quality. The animation is fantastic. There are scenes in this entire series that honestly did not have to go as hard as they did on the animation, but they did, and I don't think that it got appreciated enough. The writing, although a little juvenile at times, had strong characters and strong character arcs. The definitive version of Battle Cat, the definitive version of King Randor, and I would even say one of the best versions of Skeletor that we've ever gotten. The definitive version of Beastman.
He-Man.
You think this is the definitive version of He-Man?
Not definitive, but it's a great version of
It
He-Man.
is a great version of He-Man.
It is a good version of He-Man because he's more susceptible as He-Man to emotionals, ups and downs. He's not just monotone.
I love that they aged down Adam and they kept He-Man with that same emotional maturity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works so well.
This series did a lot of very brave things that hacked off the fan base, but they created something unique and something that I think everybody should check out and give a fair shake to. And who knows,
100%.
maybe if enough people start watching this again, Netflix will go, maybe we should make like a little movie or something. Because I think it deserves it.
Yeah. Mind you, I will never forgive them what they did to Stratos. I will say that.
No,
the only burn for me is the way
I like to think that Stratos is laying underneath Skeletor's severed arm, like just forgotten. You know, Bobcat Dragonfly's up there going, anybody see what happened to Stratos?
You can bring back the Dragonfly for sure.
Yeah, you know.
No, but overall,
put the crown on the Dragonfly's head, and you know we're all good.
Yeah, but
I'm the new king of Avion. I'm all good with that.
Well, we probably need to tell the audience now that we finished this series, and we will be back later with another Power of J-Skull series. I think we're going to be tackling the New Adventures, I believe, was on the cards.
We have to.
Before we get to that, though, go check us out and our new show that'll be coming up where we seem to be having a running theme where Jason shows me things that I've never seen before. We've done that now with Power of J-Skull with many episodes here, especially of this series, and the amazing She-Ra and the Princess of Power. Still stunned and rocked how good that was.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, yeah. And we're going to continue with what, Jason? What are you dragging me to next?
We are going to put the Power of J-Skull on a hiatus for a while. We will return to Eternia later, but we're going to take a quick veer to our right or to our left. I don't know which direction it is, to New York City. New York City of 1994, because there was a time in the Disney afternoon that true greatness dawned
from Disney
on the House of Mouse. Yes, it is from Disney. It was an installment of the Disney Afternoon, and I'm sure there are some people out there thinking, I know what they're gonna do. 1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of Goof Troop. I'm just kidding. We're gonna do gargoyles.
We're doing gargoyles.
We're gonna look at the first season of Gargoyles, which is only 13 episodes long, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Look at them. Look at those.
I have no idea who any of these people are.
That is Brooklyn. That is Bronx. That is Lexington. That's Elisa. That's Goliath. That is Brooklyn. That is Angela. And that is Hudson.
All right. Now, yeah, it's a short 13 episode.
Ed Asner.
Wow.
Yes, Keith David and Ed Asner.
And I believe this is where Dave Filoni got his start directing a few of these episodes.
I believe so as well. And you can see,
because he's been obviously went from this, I think, went to Avatar and then went off and did his Star Wars thing. But yeah, there you go. So it's a brief 13 episode season 1, no biggie. I would assume season 2 would be like that. No, 52 episodes season 2, and then season 3.
30 years ago, network ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of substantial television season episodes.
Well, I got to say, it reminds me of He-Man in the sense of, did this show become a daily show? Because the last time when you got big orders like that, traditionally, it meant you were on weekdays.
Oh, yeah. This was the Disney Afternoon.
All right. So the second season, they're like, we're not doing this
yeah.
once a week. We're doing this every day now. Because clearly,
hey everybody, it's Quack Pack. It's Goof Troop. It's the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And it's Gargoyles, a show that will rip your soul out of your body and devour it in front of you.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Now, when you come up with new podcasts, guys, as you do, you got to kind of work everything out. The big question we had around doing this podcast is what we were going to call it. And I've let the great man decide what we're going to call it. So shall we announce the title? So the guys will know what to look for. What is the title of our new podcast?
The title of our podcast is Jalapeno, a Gargoyles Garcast.
Okay, well, there you go. I have no context of why he's called that. It seems like I'm going, is it set in Mexico? I got no idea. So I'm sure I'll find out. So thanks I hope you guys, if you've been watching along with this little mini-series with Empowered Jaskell, thank you for watching. It's been a lot of fun. It's really great to be able to relive new Master Universe along with old stuff. So we'll be back. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you over in Jalapeno. Jalapeno. A Garcast, we're calling it?
A Gargoyles Garcast. You didn't let me say the thing. Get this off. You have been watching The Power of Jaskell. And now we
I had you do that because the last time you're doing it for a little while. So.
And now we move over to The Power of Jalapeno.
You're going to have to come up with a new one for that, I think.